And here we go. We have liftoff. Propulsion continues to be normal.
RS-68 chamber pressure looks good.
Doubling up. Roger, with planet.
Water towers fly! Yes!
Tango down to nominal.
Flight downside, SPD off. Bring in, SPD off. It's orange!
145! Oh my god! Oh my god!
Decollage. Look at that! Put that in the big bag, Jingle.
343 unfolds to go.
Indeed.
We rise together, back to the moon and beyond.
This methane will be igniting in the flare, correct?
Yikes. You dead? We don't need any more of these.
Good evening, everybody, and finally, we are live after all of those bumps and pushes because SpaceX is finally starting to lift the ship. Ship 34 appears to be on its way up and hopefully mounted very shortly to Booster 15 ahead of Flight 8, currently scheduled for no earlier than tomorrow, 5:30 p.m. Central Time. I am Sawyer Rosenstein. I see your 5x5s, meaning that you can hear me in chat. And as always, you don't have to hear just me. And in fact, you probably won't be hearing a lot of me once you realize the two people that are with me, including Alex. How's it going, Alex?
I mean, how is it going right now? Up, I guess, or stopped. I'm hanging in there. What about
Just
that?
like the ship is hanging, yes.
Yeah, there you go.
And also joining is Ryan. How's it going, Ryan?
Well, I mean, they're finally lifting it. We've been kind of hanging out for the last couple of hours, waiting for him to do this. We've been waiting for it all day. We've been waiting for it all week, really. You know, it's
We've been
nice.
sitting here prepared. I made an entire dinner in the meantime, but it's finally in the air.
Finally, SpaceX is gonna stack Ship 34 on Booster 15. We're 21 hours, 52 minutes, and 30 seconds from when it's supposed to lift off. So this would be a record in terms of how close they're stacking to launch. So, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think the closest time from launch to lift was, what, Flight 2?
I think that was around 22, give or take. I'd have to go back and look, but I think it was around 22 hours or so.
There you go. And also, Carson is the one pushing the buttons, pulling the levers for the stream, in addition to our 20,000 assets currently out in the field, getting everything set and ready to go. The team has been working non-stop for the last 24 hours, setting up all the cameras today and all of the views. Exciting things to come, including this stream will mark the official reveal of NSF's Flight 8 patch, and you are not going to want to miss it. So, now that we're finally moving once again, it is lifting up.
There it goes.
I know the big question is, when launch? This feels pretty late, doesn't it, Alex?
Sorry, wrong button. I was trying to unmute and I hit the wrong one. Yeah, it's quite late, but I just said it's not unprecedented. The unprecedented thing is that when it happened for Flight 2, both vehicles had gone through multiple rounds of testing and everything. This is like clean sheet, if you will, right? Like they just rolled the both stages out there and they just stacked it and launched. Right, like this is sort of a new territory. It's it's not the first time they haven't done a wet dress rehearsal. Some people pointing that out in chat as well. I've seen that as we were waiting for this lift. Many hours we were waiting. There's been other flights where they have not done a wet dress rehearsal, but they did at least some kind of partial test, some cryo of the full stack or something like that. Here, however, there's this is the first and hopefully the only time they're gonna be fully stacked. That's it, like one and done, and that's kind of a quite of a first kind of thing.
Finally, it's happening. Yes, that would be amazing for it to stack and go on the first full stack of both of these vehicles. Now, in terms of progress for everything else in regards to launch, Herb is wondering, and a reminder, if you have questions, you can tag us at NASASpaceflight, and they'll appear in the software we have back here. Have they activated the charges yet for the flight termination system, or is that something they do once it's already stacked?
It's all ready to go. They can't access the FTS box on ship once they stack it. Which means it's already done. It's already good to go. Same thing with booster. So stack this, get your final checkouts done, and hopefully 5:30 p.m. tomorrow, launch this thing.
That is the goal. And another thing, then, with all of this being stacked for the first time, Alex, what do you make of them? David wants to know, not doing a wet dress rehearsal for this flight.
Well, early on, wet dress rehearsals kind of make sense, because they were able to test all of the countdown sequences and everything. But nowadays, the countdown is pretty much the same. The vehicle, the basics of the vehicle have not changed compared to Flight 7. There's some upgrades, of course, to address the harmonic oscillations that they saw, but they already tested those on that static fire test. Other than that, right now, the only thing that they can do for those, right, like that sort of thing that they need to address, the only other thing that they have to do right now is just fly it. Doing a wet dress rehearsal right now will just be sort of wasting time in that sense, right? I'm not saying that it is not good, of course, it is good, but there's a trade-off, right? Like, do you spend the time doing the wet dress rehearsal, or you go for a launch attempt, and if you see that things are not ready to go, then you just stand down. You just abort the launch, and you're like, okay, I'm not going today, and address whatever issues come up during the countdown. And to be fair, that's already a wet dress rehearsal. So, there you go.
There you go. And through the mist, through the fog, through it all, we can see the ship lifting on its way up.
Very
Now,
ghostly.
Mm-hmm.
We were getting crazy amounts of support as we waited to go live, hoping that it would finally happen. And I have to start off with Wilbo Baggins with 2 100-pound super chats while we were waiting. First saying, please find a way to show others camera E8 from Apollo 11 from the launch, the slow-mo thingy. You may have new and young members. Talk over it and explain. EJ would be good at it. With so much new stuff coming along, perhaps some history would be appropriate. Bags. Well, thank you, Wilbo. That's actually a really cool idea. And that's part of the idea behind when we do Shuttle Sundays, which obviously happens when there's not Starship going on, is to go back through that history and educate people and kind of have an archive of things that happened. So maybe we'll do an Apollo Sunday at some point after we go through the shuttle missions. Also, with the second 100-pound super chat saying that camera E8 thingy might be better in the next flame trench. It's a thought. Also, extending their warmth and good wishes to Ethereal Swordsman. Yes, absolutely. Holy members, Jeff Biscuits, thank you for becoming a Red Team member. Dan, thank you for becoming a Padrat member. Colonel, thank you for becoming a Padrat member. Tron Weasley, thank you for becoming a Red Team member. Roka, thank you for becoming a Padrat member. Nate, becoming a Padrat member. Food versus Stomach, becoming a Padrat member. In my case, food wins. Some guy, thank you for becoming a Padrat member. Mock, thank you for becoming a Red Team member. And then 2 Capcom members, Alan P. and Matthias. Thank you both. Capcom and above gets access to the NSF Discord, which also includes the pre and post show for the Flame Trench and other things like that. And a reminder, we have our NSF 4K multi-views for launch coming up, so you are not going to want to miss all of the awesome feeds that you will get by becoming a member for tomorrow's launch attempt. Also, I do have to shout this one out in particular from Itamar, saying shout out to my big brother Elisar for his birthday. Happy birthday, Elisar, who is one of our awesome social media people here. It would make his birthday amazing if you went and followed us on all of our social media channels, X, Facebook, Instagram, Threads. Blue Sky and TikTok. So definitely do that. Questions. Master Quark is wondering, Ryan, is the mishap closed?
Nope. The mishap investigation is not closed. A safety determination was made in order to allow SpaceX to fly. So basically, SpaceX completed a comprehensive safety review of the anomaly that occurred on Flight 7, the in-flight breakup, and where the debris landed, and basically looked at what happened, and showed the FAA that this won't happen again. We know why it happened. Here's the fixes. However, because they aren't like 100% sure, because you can't always replicate everything on the ground, they did do the 60-second static fire, but I mean, it gives you information, but obviously it doesn't give you everything. So what they're hoping is to get the information from this flight to be able to make sure that, yep, that won't happen again, and then they can close the investigation after the fact. So it's not closed, but they do have the sign-off due to a comprehensive safety review, and Flight 8 is good to go, regulatory speaking. The only thing that's left is, well, what we're watching right now, which is stacking the ship, getting it ready for flight. So,
Just a minor detail.
Minor.
Alex, we have two questions here about the catch pins. And Ricky is asking, does the ship have real catch pins? We'll start with that one for you.
I call them the fake ones because they are not structural, but the design of them is still the same, right? It's just that the way that they are attached, they're just, like with pins on the hull of the vehicle. They're not actually, structural and in actually part of the structure of the vehicle. So yeah, these are just the fake catch pins, if you will. Yeah, they're not the real ones.
And I misread the second question. It's actually about the lift points, not the catch points. Tesla Tim is wondering, did the previous Starship have the new lift point? Wasn't it usually under the forward flaps?
Yeah, this is an upgrade for Block 2 where the lift points got lowered a bit on the vehicle. Coincidentally, the new catch pins are pretty much around the same location as the original lift pins were located, which is quite hilarious. But, might have been a thought that they may have had while developing Block 2, right? That they may have those catch pins up there. I'm seeing some of those numbers already. 500? Is that on the one on the right? The center one?
I think that's
on the right?
500 something. I think we have 490.
Wow.
I don't know what the other one is, but that looks like
511? Is
500.
that what that one is?
It looks like a 0, because knowing their decals, it looks like a 0.
Oh, we switch cameras.
Yeah.
Because there was a question, have we seen any of the serial numbers yet on these Raptors? And the answer is no until now.
Yeah, this is the first time because, well, SpaceX has started to basically, they have them in the Star Factory and they roll it between the doorway that's between Mega Bay 2 and the Star Factory. So we don't see the serial numbers. They roll it across, install it. And then when they roll it out for static fire, the work platform that's on the static fire stand is in place along with engine covers. And it rolls out with engine covers. So this is the first time we're seeing Raptor serial numbers. And it's basically how it's going to be going forward with ship. Booster, the only time we see them is, well, when they catch it and when it lifts off. That's about it. So
Yeah, when they show that under engine view, that's our best shot at actually seeing the numbers for the booster. And this thing is going up very fast, which I don't know if either of you have this in your spreadsheets here, but Angry Engineer is wondering, what's the fastest ship lifting time from getting off the transport stand to the top of the booster?
35 minutes.
I knew one of you would know it.
That is, or I guess 33 minutes is actually the thing. It was stack number 7 for ship 25 and booster 9. If anyone remembers way back to that launch, they installed the FTS that night, and then within like 20 minutes after finishing the FTS work, which they had been working on all day long, They cleared the pad, instantly lifted, stacked it in 33 minutes. The unfortunate part about that one is they then had to destack it to, I think that was the one that they had to do some grid fin work, restack it, and of course they had their 8th and final destack in flight. But, as Alex likes to say on that one.
Is that the one with Adrian's rap in it?
That might have been the one, yeah.
No, I think
that was Booster 7.
Yeah, that's Booster 7.
Yeah, that's right.
Look at that. Almost already to the top of the booster, which is why that was a perfect question for that, because it is moving quickly here. Do want to thank a couple more people here. Gamer.io saying, guess what time it is? And then saying, cheesecake time. Oh, geez, here we go again.
Oh, cheese.
Ooh, that was good.
You said it.
Jay Blaze is wondering, how are the winds for tomorrow? Do we have any update on what the weather is currently looking like, Alex?
Apart from it being, not too cloudy and things like that, and I haven't looked into the actual wind data. We did see a couple of days ago. I remember on a CTL recently, we're looking like wind shear and things like that. But 2 days ago versus now, things may have changed. Of course, I'm not any weather person or anything like that, so I'll defer something like that. I don't know to Adam or something like that if we have him back again at some point or something. We'll yeah. But essentially, it doesn't look that bad. It's decent.
Yeah, that's not too bad. Let's hope that it holds that way and that the clouds are low enough that we get some fantastic views. Speaking of how things are looking here, Null noting out about the tiles on the flaps. Ryan, why are there so many missing tiles from the lower flap?
There's missing tiles all over the vehicle. I'll tell you that much, because SpaceX is basically trying to see how they're just trying to see how the ship handles itself on reentry, missing tiles in certain locations, like whether it's on the flap, in the tank section itself, the aft skirt, the nose cone, whatever. They want to see what happens if a tile were to fall off. Say that you were to lose a tile in ascent or somewhere else, then you want to make sure that the ship can still survive re-entry and it won't, burn up, because you want to be able to have that robustness to be able to lose the stuff. Because if you didn't have that thing and say you were to lose tile and then all of a sudden the ship is stranded in space, or you have to do a magical spacewalk with no tie downs to try to get to, say, a hex tile in the middle of the tank section, you don't want to have to do that. So you need to have the ability to be able to survive your entry with a missing tile.
And that's one of the things that they're trying to verify. We didn't really get to that point in the last flight, so hopefully we get some good data on that for this flight. Now, I need to run through the support queue because something coming up, aka patch reveal, will probably take this queue and absolutely destroy it. Ninja Decimator, pew pew pew, thank you for gifting 5 Red Team memberships. Jeff, thank you for gifting a Red Team membership. Wilbo Bag is saying, worth waiting for, eh? And then Astro Knucklehead, Canadian, Wilbo with an A. Chromatic, thank you for gifting your Red Team membership. Zelio saying, I like NSF quite a bit. Well, thank you. We appreciate that. We appreciate for the support on that. Methane Man, thank you for gifting 5 Red Team memberships. Squishy Zone becoming a Pad Rat member. Debbie becoming a Pad Rat member. Methane Man gifting 5 more Red Team memberships. Blair, thank you for becoming a Pad Rat member. Shazbert, Ship 26, I won't say the rest of it. You can fight me on it, as you pointed out. And then I will save the other questions because apparently there is word from a certain German friend of ours about a patch that is now ready.
Yeah, I mean, people have started to find it. So we are not like a super professional big thing here. So it's literally me like pressing buttons here. And as I'm pressing buttons, people have already found it while I was in the release process here. As always, I honestly think it's an amazing patch. Shout outs to our designer, Jack, who did this. And one of the coolest thing I think about this patch is all the little details about it. So, of course, the background is accurate. But if you remember this whole talk the last 2 days about the planetary alignment, look at the patch. It's there. We have the planetary alignment on the patch. We, of course, have the Starlink demos, the dumplings, being released here from the ship. I think it's amazing textured. And if you want to learn more about the patch, and that's one of the neat things here, look at this. We included the design vision of Jack right here. Why he chose certain elements on the patch and what was the thinking about that. And there's also some cool like color choices. And honestly, I think it's an amazing design. You can pre-order it now. We expect shipping in this month. We are already quite good in the process at this point. So you will probably see a shipment notification before the end of this month. Of course, we will always update you along the month in like the ticker at the top of the shop once it's there again for updates. But I think it's amazing. If you want to read more about it, once again, thanks to Jack for turning this patch here again. I love it, and I think it's super fitting for this mission.
Oh yeah, it's really well done, Jack. Thank you for designing it. And again, this isn't like a professional design thing that we hired out. No, this is someone who loves Starship as much as we do and came up with this design. This is a legit passion project, and it shows, and we're very happy to bring it to everyone here. So yes, pre-order today. And a reminder, it is a pre-order. You will get it very, very soon.
I will actually tell this story here. Jack is very much from our own community, and there was like, if you're on the membership Discord, you literally could see a message from Das. I think he pinged like everyone, being like, "Hey, who wants to design patches for us?" Like there was literally a ping, and Jack then came to us with the design and was like, "Here, that's what I can do." And we all went like, yeah, that's it. That's what we want to have. So this is literally coming from the community, from a person that just because of a ping applied. And honestly, it's amazing. And I can already tell you there's also talks already about Flight 9, and it's already looking amazing as well.
Oh, yes. Lots of good things coming. So love what we do, and hopefully it shows. And at this point, that patch is probably going to live in the top right corner of the screen for now, given how many orders are already coming in. Goodness gracious. I'm going to try and cycle through as many of these as we can.
That's my final thing here. I will say this. Jay and I still have this ongoing thing where Jay tries to make the host panel stable enough that it can handle all the pre-orders coming in. And I want to crash it again. So if you want to help me, leave a message. Like you can leave a message in the panel and stuff. Like you can buy the patch and then you leave a message for the host. And I want to see if we can crash that panel again. That's my last message here. I'm sorry. I'm just happy this is working out, and I hope everybody enjoys the patch. Enjoy the rest of the stack. Thank you so much.
Well, Josh Zero already saying that time to break your console. Here we go. Here's a question while we're waiting that was also super chat. Alex Vaughn is wondering, and I'll throw this to both of you. I guess since it's an Alex, we'll throw to Alex first. Any guess how long till Flight 9, assuming Flight 8 goes well?
You know, we actually had this debate this weekend internally. I did a bit of an extrapolation based on how quickly we're seeing, some of the stuff done for Flight 4, or Flight 4. Excuse me, because I was thinking 34 for Flight 8 versus, Flight 9. So we expect Flight 9 to already be, orbital with ship catch and everything, knock on wood, right? All of that. holds after this launch happens. So I think there's a good chance it might happen somewhere around mid-April, like another sort of 40, 50-day turnaround, as we've seen between Flight 7 and Flight 8. Because if after Flight 7, where the ship just blew up and all that, right? Like, there's no possible worst case scenario on a turnaround time currently, right? I mean, there's probably a few other options, but let's not think about those. So it's like there's more things to do for Flight 9, right? Like the orbital stuff, the catch, and whatnot. So adding that in, I think it's going to be pretty much the same turnaround, perhaps 40, 50 days between. So I think mid-April is realistic. Maybe we'll see.
Ryan,
maybe I'm gonna have to eat my words, but.
Speaking of Mr. Optimism, Ryan, what do you think?
Well, I had the conversation with Alex when we had this conversation, because we were looking at we were just looking at stuff, but I ran some numbers today, and you go, okay, ship 34, it took them 105. If it launches tomorrow, that's 105 days from finished stacking to launch. Now that's about 40 days quicker than ship 33 between stacking and launch. So there's that. Now, if they they were to do that with ship 35. So 35, if they were to follow 34's timeline, it wouldn't be till like May 19th. That would be the date. But if they were to follow what to do with 34 and go shave 2-3 weeks off it, maybe end of April for that to be ready. Now I only say 35 because you got 2 boosters that might be ready for it. Booster 16 is over at Massey's right now, having completed a single cryo, needs 1 more. Then it's going to go back and get its engines. But there's another booster that already has its engines that might in fact static fire once this pad is done refurbishing after this launch. And that's booster 14-2. So, I mean, I'm thinking end of April is kind of where I'm ballparking it. At no earlier than end of April. So.
Yeah, I mean, I'm very hopeful it'll be April. That would be amazing for the cadence. But I think early to mid-May is probably a safer bet. But then again, I'm very happy to be wrong on that one. Holy panel. Okay, I'm trying to get through as many of these as I can. Goodness gracious. All right. Anonymous is talking about the Starlink simulator is very appropriate with the patch. I know we were watching it the other night. Everything looked pretty smooth, although they were asking, was there anything where it happened? It looked like they kind of got into a bind. Were you seeing anything, Alex, when you were watching it?
I'm gonna be honest, I was asleep when that happened. Yeah, it was super late at night here. I was not able to watch that live.
Ryan, were you able to see it?
Yeah, it didn't look like they got into a bind. I think they're still learning how to load this stuff. Plus, the rack loader that they have is not really the best, because they basically have to push the thing on and then they have to manually push the links into the PEZ dispenser that's in the ship. Once they get the box up and running, basically the box will act like a reverse PEZ dispenser. So they'll load up the box through the top and then basically shoot Starlink sats into the loader and load them up. So I think it's just, I don't think they had any binding issues. I think they're just trying to still figuring it out. Keep in mind, they've only loaded 14 dummy Starlinks, let alone they haven't loaded any real ones. It's going to take some time to get the process nailed down, but they'll get there.
Yeah, and again, like you said, it's only the second time. So they're trying to figure it out. And then we also don't know if this will be the final design for the deployment of them too. It may be that this is just for testing, and then they redo the payload bay and redo the Starlinks for V3, and all of a sudden it's, hey, we're not doing these flat links anymore. which, yeah, I like the term flat links, although they are kind of dummy links, which I was joking earlier while we were waiting.
Are you still in that from Rocket Lab with the flat light?
I'm trying to do a play on it without stealing it.
Okay.
Okay. All right.
But what I was saying earlier is that this mission needs a new name. It needs this needs to be called Dummy Link 0-2 because they're dummy Starlinks. They're going to shell 0, as in they're not going into a shell, and this is the second flight. So,
if only there were other Starlinks launching today, right?
If only there were other Starlinks set to launch within the next 15 minutes now.
Is it really 15 minutes?
18 and a half minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, folks, I was hoping to actually be outside to go watch it tonight. Finally, I can just sit outside and watch the Starlink launch. No, it had to. This lift had to delay into the Starlink window. But yes, there you go. There is the view over on Space Coast Live, where that launch will be happening from Pad 40. So hopefully we'll be able to see some exciting things happening there very soon in 17 minutes and 57 seconds, according to the next Spaceflight app. Wow, this is getting overwhelming, the panel. It is getting slower. You guys are doing your job. It is definitely slower. I don't know if it'll last. We'll find out with all the messages still to come. It looks like it is almost attached to the booster. We're getting close, at least. What are the final attachment steps, Alex?
Well, it's just a matter of aligning it correctly with the pins on the top of the hot staging ring, and then the pins have like these sort of hooks in the middle, and those close, and then both stages are essentially hooked together until staging. But yeah, well, one of the pins is only for alignment though. There are 4 pins. 3 of them actually have the hook. The 4th one is, we believe it's for alignment, because at the beginning, the first few flights they kept having issues aligning the ship with a booster, and then they added the 4th pin, and it was like, why are they doing this? And the pin is sort of like this, as if you cut like a pyramid, right? And you cut the tip, and so it's sort of that shape, and that allows them to be able to guide the ship down on top of the booster. So if you don't have the hook, you still have that guide effect that the pin does. And so if you add a 4th pin and it doesn't have any hook, then it's like, well, it kind of sounds like it's probably for aiding on that guiding of the ship down on the booster. So yeah, that's why we thought that.
And while we're talking about the payloads here, I did see a question asking, do we know what the payload bay door for actual payloads might look like? Misty is wondering. Ryan, any thoughts on that?
No, we haven't seen anything. We don't know if it's a chopper, if it's going to look like the split shuttle bay door. It's one thing I know for certain, it's going to have to be integrated structurally, especially when it's closed, because otherwise it's going to compromise structural integrity in the nose. So, although when you look at Block 2, there definitely are signs that they didn't put really any stringers on the leeward side of that nose cone, or like almost nothing, barely any at all, compared to the windward side. Now that's partially because of loading for reentry and whatnot, but it also kind of helps in the future when they might want to put a door there for large payloads like large satellites or space station modules or what have you. So now their priority is Starlink, tanker ships, HLS, a depot, and then eventually moving forward to crewed and cargo variants. But they got a long way to go before they hit that.
Yeah, I hope. I know we were talking about this on the Flame Trench the other day. I really hope that someone goes for a chomper design and adds googly eyes.
Yep. That'd be nice.
And if anyone would do it, SpaceX, I think, would be the one. Come on, SpaceX, we're waiting. Justin with the $10 super chat with two questions. One, are we launching tomorrow? And two, when do you think we will have a Raptor 3 on board? Ryan, first off, do you think we're launching tomorrow?
Yeah, I think they'll go. I think they want to get this thing out of the way. They want to get the launch done, get back to working on Pad B, and push for. And then they want. I think they want to be done with their suborbital flights. I think they want to get to orbit, hopefully get a ship catch in, or at least try for that matter. But they also want to get back to work on Pad B because they want to get that thing done as quick as they can. So yeah, I think they'll if they're even remotely ready, and the weather's good, they'll go. So yeah, and then yeah, so.
And so, Alex, what do you think then for Raptor 3s?
I have a hard time seeing those anytime soon. They still seem to be test stand engine right now. Our hope was that it was going to be with Block 2, but obviously that's not the case. Ship 33 flew with Raptor 2s, and Ship 34 is flying with Raptor 2s. And so far, it's looking like, all of the foreseeable ships are going to probably fly with Raptor 2. And the boosters, it's not supposed to come up until Block 2 of the booster. So my thinking is that we're going to see Block 2 of the booster with Raptor 3, and that's not going to be until maybe late this year, perhaps early next.
Yeah, I'm not sure when we get to that point. I think, again, once we start getting towards the next booster, because I have seen a couple people asking when we'll get booster version 2 now that we have ship version 2.
We'll see, because it also depends on how many times they reuse the Block 1 boosters. They want to launch a lot of times, right? So if they reuse a lot of these early boosters, and then they also need Launchpad B at Starbase to be online as well, to be able to use Block 2 of the booster. So there's a lot of things riding on that Block 2 booster. So they need the production, they need the reuse of the Block 1 boosters, and they also need to bring online Pad B. So there's a lot of stuff, and that's why I think it's a late this year kind of thing. They probably want to get a lot of data on what they have right now.
Yeah, again, hopefully sooner than later, because then we get the upgrades, and that means we're getting much closer to operational. Speaking of, Rankley was asking earlier, if they successfully catch this booster, do you think it will refly? Maybe booster 15-2 for flight 10?
I don't think it would be flight 10. I would more go flight 11 or 12. Because you have to remember here. So if I'll go through it in my head. This is assuming they catch everything. You do 15 here, 14 next flight. The flight after that, you fly 16 and you catch it. Then you fly 15. Then you fly 17. You remember, you got booster 17. Then you have to finish stacking it. And then you get 16. And then you fly 17 again. And if I did my math right, that's every single Block 1 booster that's left for at least 2 flights. That's what you do. And at that point, Pad B should be online. The tiered environmental assessment should be signed off. And you should have a Block 2 booster ready to fly. And hopefully you have it ready to fly before you're done. Maybe you even fly one of these Block 1 boosters 3 times. Maybe 16 and 17, or hell, maybe even 15 might be, good enough to fly 3 times instead of 2. It's one of those things you don't know. So basically, they're going to keep flying until they think they can't fly the Block 1s anymore. And then hopefully they'll have a full stack of both. They'll have a full stack on Pad A and full stack on Pad B, with the final launch of Pad A, and then they'll demo Pad A and its tank farm and redo the whole thing, which will take like a year or 2. But yeah, that's my guess.
Definitely. I mean, it's a good guess. And we are that much closer here to a full stack finally. Hard to believe. We're almost there. Now, we were pointing out earlier, just an interesting note. that we will not see this full stack in daylight until we get to launch day. That seems kind of mind-boggling. Would this be...
You just jinx it.
I mean, yeah, probably it's me. But do you think that this would be the quickest if it does for tomorrow? Is this a new pace that SpaceX is going for with this, Alex?
You know, it could be, but they've also been sort of quite busy with that ship lately. It feels to me that they're just trying to go as soon as it is physically possible for them to go, right? And because they originally were, like, I mean, depends on how much, you know, far back you go, but they were targeting February 26th because we saw even closures coming up for the 26th. Then they officially said Friday the 28th. Then they delayed to March 3rd. And among all of this, the vehicle that was, you know, very, very well missed here at the pad was Ship 34. And I have the intuition that, yes, it kind of works as a test of, you know, rapid preparations and whatnot. But we were seeing them up on ladders underneath of the ship's engines, like really close to when they started lifting this. So my gut feeling is that they're just trying to get this, you know, ready as quickly as possible and launch as, you know, as quickly as possible after that, after they're already ready for launch.
Speaking of ready for launch, a reminder, there is a Starlink 12-20 that is now 7.5 minutes away. They should be getting to their engine chill on Falcon 9 for a liftoff from Space Launch Complex 40 at the Cape Canaveral Space Force Station in Florida.
Want me
Take
to
a
do the
look.
whole thing?
Look at that. I mean,
Do it. Go.
We're very used to being on Starlinks, right, Sawyer?
this is not your ordinary Starlink, folks.
Exactly.
They're
guess-
aligning the ship. Go ahead.
It is not. It is the first booster of the Falcon 9 fleet that has flown a third time this year.
See? Always
There you
something.
go. It's not
Flight
your
this year.
ordinary Starlink.
And what's crazy is we will have 2 Starlinks on back-to-back days. We will have the one over at Slick 40, and we will have the one at Starbase Pad A. Because this is, I guess you consider this a Starlink mission, given that it has the Starlink simulator payloads on board.
Why not? It won't stay in orbit, but why not?
I mean, yeah, all the Starlinks are technically designed to burn up after a certain amount of time anyway, right? So it's normal.
That's true. That's true.
This one's just a little quicker than the other ones.
Standard a Starlink and then a Dumblink mission. Yeah, go with that.
Very smart. Which, okay, I'm still very behind on this panel. Holy smokes! I apologize if not getting to your message quickly. Where they just keep coming in, which is a testament to all of you. Thank you so much. I mean, yeah, we can't do what we do without the help of viewers like you, and we're so. One of the best parts about that is I love that not only do you support us, but the most important thing is that you guys at least get something in return for your money and for your support here. So we're glad that you at least have something that you can show for it in addition to being able to watch what we do. So thank you. And a lot of the upgraded cameras and views that you see for this launch is all because of support. And I believe, Jay, it's official. Panel's dead.
No. Anyways.
The buttons are no longer... Oh, maybe? It's not clicking anymore, Jay. Impressive. Oh, now it's coming back. Hang in there. We're getting there. Don't forget, we are taking a look still at regular questions while we wait for this to happen. There is a question here saying, why would they demo the Pad A tank farm? Isn't it going to be shared with Pad B? Do we know any updates on that, Alex?
Demo the
Were there any plans
That
to
doesn't
demo
sound-
the Pad A tank farm?
I here.
didn't think so.
Hang on. Let me do my thing. So, what I think they're trying to say is that they're going to be perhaps removing all of the stuff dedicated to Pad A. So the ground tanks where you store the propellants and all of the other commodities, those are shared in between. But then from there out to the pad, you need a system that is able to bring all of that to your pad. So you have the Pad A stuff and then the Pad B stuff. And so the Pad B, we're seeing new subcoolers, we're seeing new pumps being installed. There's a whole new setup there that it's even better than the one that they put for Pad A many years ago. I believe it was like 4 years ago, I think it was 4.5.
Yeah.
Whatever. But it was a long time ago. And so now that they have a lot of experience launching this and they have a lot of, data on how to fuel their Starship rocket, now they can optimize this and build a proper tank farm system, not just the ground tanks that store all of the consumables, but also the things that are able to, push all of that out to the launch site. And so, yes, the ground tanks are shared, but the pumps and subcoolers may change once they start, retrofitting Pad A with all of the upgrades that we're seeing on Pad B, like the flame trench and yada, yada, yada.
He said the thing. Oh, wait, wrong show. It looks like, are they lowering it now?
Slowly.
Is it lowering again?
SpaceX doesn't do it really, really quick anymore. That 33 minutes is a fluke. They usually take around an hour or so to stack these days. I don't know if it'll get faster with the new pad. It might, because those aren't warped and used in all sorts of ways and modified in every which way, all the way, whatever you want to call it. Honestly, they've been modified and beaten and battered like crazy. And they're kind of the prototype ones, so it may be quicker with Pad B once they get it up and running. Same thing with ones over at 39A, and of course when they completely redo Pad A, my guess is they'll be quicker. But for now, it takes about an hour, give or take, to do it, because I think it was about 50 minutes ago when they lifted off the transport stand, and they're getting there. They're almost down, but they're a little bit off.
I mean, it's not like they've taken these chopsticks and used it to whack some boosters or anything violently. Also, of note, we are now under 2 minutes away from that Starlink launch from Florida. 90 seconds, in fact, away. Falcon 9 fully loaded with propellants. For comparison, what is the speed difference, Alex, between loading Falcon 9 and Starship? Because this part boggles my mind given the size difference.
Yeah, Falcon 9 takes about 35 minutes from the start of the fueling process to T0. For Starship, the first portion, so like the very first action of loading anything on Starship comes at T-minus 46 minutes in the count. So it's just 11 minutes longer. And yet, Starship carries like 10 times the mass of propellant than Falcon 9.
That's what I mean by that part absolutely boggles my mind. How much more massive this vehicle is, and yet the prop load times are almost identical.
Eventually, Starship's going to be faster. Faster than Falcon 9, which is nuts.
We should be able to hear the commentary coming from the SpaceX feed there. As we continue to go through
Launch director
all the patch support.
As usual, we're going to see it probably first on our cameras because there's a bit of a delay from the SpaceX feed.
Yeah, that happened to me the other day.
A boat had to pass in front of the camera.
Boat in the camera. Not boat in the range, but boat in the camera.
Yep. Watch for the flash in the night sky. There it is.
There we go. You can see it in the top left.
And
T-minus
there's
5,
the rocket.
4, 3, 2, 1. Ignition. Liftoff. Go Falcon, go Starlink.
There we go. Starlink 12-20 on its way.
M1D chamber pressure is nominal.
Vehicles pitching downrange.
Hopefully this is the last SpaceX launch before Starship Flight 8. Wait, are we having our own audio?
Yes, we are. This is from our cameras and audio. Let's enjoy.
Nominal power and telemetry.
Vehicle is supersonic.
You can hear the VAB squeal. Not a bad doubleheader here with a ship stack and a Falcon, hopefully D-stack in orbit.
And it looks like at T-minus 21 hours and 6 minutes, the ship is on booster 15, is what it looks like. So,
Look at all the birds on the fleet.
MVAC trail has started.
What is that, 92 and 83 in port?
I think so. Let me check. Yeah, it should be those two.
While our team is continuing to track. So we have teams that are tracking everything at Starbase, tracking the lift, moving the cameras with that, and we have people that are tracking a Falcon 9 launch. All of this simultaneously, by the way. And when we say we can't do it without support from people like you, this is what we mean. We have all of these cameras coming from us, tracked by us, in Texas and Florida simultaneously.
And one day it's going to be one Starship launch on the left, one Starship launch on the right.
And here I am stuck in the middle with you.
Main engine cut off.
All right, there's Miko, main engine cutoff.
Stage separation confirmed.
There we go. And we should have MVAC ignition.
MVAC startup.
Of course, I wanted to step outside and see this one, but that's okay. We've got a gorgeous launch here. Is that still continuing to be tracked? I believe that is Pizza. Need Pizza on that other track with the robotic camera. Oh, that's Jay. Sorry. Jay with the tracking on this one, too. Jay Keegan,
Coming
everybody.
up on fairing sep. And this is one of those things that... There you go. One of the things that they don't have to worry about with Starship. Fairing separation and recovery. Because Starship already carries its own fairing.
Well, does it carry a fairing, or is it a fairing? Is it not a fairing? Because Space Shuttle didn't have a fairing, it had a payload bay.
Sometimes it doesn't fare well. So it's fairing. It's yeah, not good.
I mean, we've said farewell to all of them, but yeah.
That's true. Hopefully tomorrow we won't say farewell to arms.
Yeah. Especially not to Booster 15. And we will stick with this for just a little bit here. Let's see, with the ship down, let's see if Falcon 9's first stage can also be down safely. See if we can get a landing and a catch within 24 hours of each other. While that's going, I do want to thank some people who got regular super chats in here and gifted memberships besides just all of the patches. Nibbles gifting 5 Red Team memberships. Blackhawk New Zealand gifting 5 Red Team memberships. So did Daniel Hogbin gifting 5. Apocalypse Cow gifting 10 Red Team memberships. Gamer.io saying you should run the numbers for total cheesecake money. I'm sure the team will run the numbers as they're eating cheesecake. John, thank you for becoming a Pad Rat member. Anonymous saying break the app. It's working. It's barely working. Gamer.io again. Cheesecake is a pie. Cheese pie. Josh Zero, let's crash console with cheesecake. Doug Ramsey, $20 super chat. Since Starship would not be able to return to launch pad for several hours after launch, there should be plenty of time to safe the booster and get it off the launch mount for Flight 9. I don't know about for Flight 9, but maybe potentially in the future. don't know.
Me and AJ were talking about this, but I don't think they will catch a booster on the pad, put it back in the OLM, and catch a ship on the same pad. I don't think they will. It's a lot of risk. And that's a lot of risk that you lose 2 vehicles and a pad all at once if it goes something were to go even slightly off. So I don't think they'll actually ever do that.
Also, Doug Ramsey, I apologize I didn't see that earlier, but also gifting 10 Red Team memberships. Thank you very much for that.
Stage 1 entry burn startup.
All right, here comes the entry burn.
Yes, is saved.
Whoever is still tracking that second stage, I mean...
That's Jay.
Wow.
Jay continuing to track.
I say the same that I said on the last Starlink launch, that is really complicated to track. Was it the Starlink launch or was it to the machines? I don't remember now. But it's complicated to track that all the way.
It is.
And
Stage 1 entry burn
it's
shutdown.
disappearing now.
Oh no, that's the that was the entry burn a bit there. But yes, having been the person that was doing the manual track for Intuitive Machines 2, yes, it is very difficult. No, it is not easy, especially as it gets super tiny like that.
Stage 2 FTS.
Okay. Apparently that zoom out was not planned. Jay's still tracking that.
I think Jay may have it back again. Unbelievable. Also unbelievable here. Patrol with a $100 super chat. No message, but just this. Wow. Thank you. Thank you very, very much. Oh, man. Yes, Jay just flexing his tracking skills. He can zoom out and zoom back in and get it. Connor G, thank you for the $10, saying thanks for all the content. I've been following since SN4. Wow, going way back. JC Davis.
Transonic.
Can someone make a VABO Squeal YouTube short? We have one, I believe. I'm 99% positive I made one, but if not, I will definitely get on that. Jeff
what will
Rowe,
be
thank you.
first, the Horizon or the MVAC shutdown?
It's getting close. Also, Jeff, thank you for gifting a Red Team membership.
Stage 1
It's so
landing
weird
burn.
doing this during a launch because I'm used to waiting until after the launch portion. All right, here comes the landing.
Stage 2 and terminal guidance.
See it right there in the middle screen.
Watch out for the deluge.
There's the drone ship deck.
Stage 1 landing leg deploy.
And touchdown.
Stage 1 landing confirmed.
Booster 1086 completing its 5th flight and its 3rd of the year.
We're 2 months into the year, and that booster's already flown 3 times.
Yep.
And ULA's flown none.
Ouch, low blow.
I mean,
you're not wrong, but
it's one of those things. It's like, it's more of just the nuts part of it. Like, what other launch companies even flown once this year? And SpaceX has flown a single booster 3 times.
Good point.
It's nuts.
Unbelievable.
Anyway,
Jonathan, thank you for coming a Pad Rat member. DNA Gaming becoming a Pad Rat member. Same with Junder Gaming, all the gaming. And Bruce, thank you for becoming a Capcom member. Capcom would love getting that Discord access. Definitely join us over there. And don't forget, any members can join the 4K members multi-view for launch tomorrow. So make sure to check that out. And don't forget to join us for the launch of Starship Flight 8. Remember, liftoff may be scheduled for tomorrow at 5:30 p.m. Central Time, but we will be on well before that. We have our Starship Stakeout stream first, where you can listen to us talk about everything going on with the flight, answer as many of your questions as we can, and watch everything progress from road closures onward. That starts at 9:30 a.m. Eastern, 8:30 a.m. Central. And then, of course, there was the launch itself, our live dedicated launch coverage with all of our on-camera hosts, our teams in the field, everyone in the studios, Mr. Map, everything happening starting at 3:30 p.m. Eastern, 2:30 p.m. Central, going all the way until launch and beyond. Don't forget, you can set reminders right now on the YouTube channel, as Carson was just showing on the screen, so that you know when we go live for each of these and can join us all the way through. You can stay for the whole thing, come in and out, do as you please, but make sure you set the reminders and can join us for the launch. Now, I have to thank all the people that are with me here tonight, many of whom you will hear again tomorrow. Alex, thank you for joining.
Yep, I'm gonna be on that stakeout stream right at the beginning, and I'm supposed to also be on the launch stream. We'll see what happens with all of these preparations. But yeah, see you tomorrow.
And Ryan, I believe we will see you tomorrow as well.
You guys will be stuck with me for 4 hours straight. I mean, I don't know. I don't know if you guys have gotten tired of me yet. This is stream number 4 in 4 days. That'll be 5 in 5 days. I don't know if you've got sick of my voice or sick of me at all, but you got me one way or the other. So, I guess you just have to deal with it. But anyways, it's a pleasure, and it's nice to see this thing finally stacked, and can't wait to get the QD hooked up and get those final checks out of the way and get it flying. So.
Well, I know I've gotten used to it, considering of those last 4 streams, I have been on all 4 of them with you.
You gotten sick of me yet, Sawyer? I'm not sick of you, so there's that.
No comment.
Well,
I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
Oh.
I love you, Ryan. Carson, thank you very much for producing this stream tonight. Don't forget to follow us on all the NSF socials: X, Instagram, Facebook, Threads, Blue Sky, TikTok. We're on all of those. And yes, you're stuck with me for 3 hours tomorrow with Ryan again. So I better apologize really quickly during the break here. Thank you, everybody, for joining. I'm Sawyer Rosenstein. I've been your host for our final countdown to launch, the stacking stream, the patch reveal stream. We will see everybody for launch, hopefully, tomorrow.
And here we go. We have liftoff.
Propulsion continues to be normal.
R68 chamber pressure looks good.
Following up. Roger, roger, planet.
Water towers fly! Yes! Echo down to nominal.
Flight downside FD off. Bring in FD off. Off. It's orange! 145! Oh my god! Oh my god! Decollage. Put that in the big bag,
343 unfolds to go.
Indeed.
We rise together back to the moon and beyond.
The methane will be igniting in the flare, correct?
Yikes. You dead? Sure. We don't need any more of these.